Governor Mitt Romney promises to put Americans back to work if he's elected president. But how can he create 12 million jobs as he promised? Let's ask three men who have had great track records in their states, making tough decisions and being fiscally responsible. Three Republican governors joining us right now. Governor Scott Walker, Governor Rick Perry of Texas, and Governor Rick Scott of Florida. Well, let's start with you, Governor Walker. What do you think that the message could be? What could Governor Romney take from you that would help them on the national scene from what you've done in Wisconsin?
Well, you got to take on tough issues. In our state, we won a second time in the last 2 years, mainly because not only Republicans and conservatives, but a whole lot of independent swing voters realized what they want more than anything in tough times is leadership. We face an economic and a fiscal crisis in our state. We took it head on. I think in America, people realize we're not getting leadership out of the current president. And if we had a leader out there who was willing to take on those tough issues, I think he could win. And that's what Mitt Romney needs to be talking about, and that's what he is talking about.
Governor Scott, when things got tough, you paid for it in your popularity polls temporarily, but they're beginning to come back up. But you made some tough decisions when it came to spending. Can you run for president and make those same tell America they got to tighten their belt?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my race in 2010 is exactly the same as the race this year. It's all about jobs. We know that we basically want to do what Governor Perry's done: cut taxes, cut regulation, streamline permitting processes, and jobs come back. That's what we did. In our first 20 months, we generated 130,000 private sector jobs. So, and biggest drop in unemployment. So that's what you have to be doing. Talk about how you're going to turn the economy around.
And Governor Perry, I think the one thing about Governor Romney, he seems to get distracted easy because the Obama administration will get him off defending a statement or capitalizing on things and getting away from what you've done best, and that is create jobs and bring in business.
Well, I think that's why these governors that are highly successful across the country, and it's really interesting, most of those governors are Republicans, and putting the tax policy, the regulatory policy in place as we travel across the country and talk about what we're doing and the relationship between those states and what it ought to be with Washington, D.C., with a president like Mitt Romney who understands the importance of giving the states more freedom to make the decisions, whether it's about health care, whether it's about education, whether it's about transportation infrastructure policies. That's what Mitt Romney's all about, and that's why if this country is to get back on track, Mitt Romney's got to be the president. And then these governors are given even more freedom to put into place the policies that are working in their home states.
In the next 46 days, Governor Walker, do you think the former governor of Massachusetts will take your advice and the template you put forward? Because you've been critical in the past because he really hasn't.
Well, I certainly think one of the best moves he made was when he picked Paul Ryan, not just because he's a fellow cheesehead, but it's actually kind of nice to be at a stadium where we won the Super Bowl a year and a half ago, too. But not just because he's a fellow cheesehead, but because in the end it said not only a lot about Paul Ryan, it said a lot about Mitt Romney, that he was willing to be bold and aggressive in taking on our nation's problems, and that's exactly what he's going to, a great partner like Paul Ryan. I think he needs to build on that now to show he's got a plan to create more jobs in the private sector and to get this budget balance. Those are the things that aren't happening in Washington today, and we need to make them happen.
And Governor Scott, can you tell me what's going on with this these Chinese investment summit that you're putting together, together?
Look, we want more investment in our states. All of our states do, and we're all competing. That's what makes us all better. There's a group of Chinese investors that are traveling the country. They're here in Texas today, and so we're all here talking to them about why they should come to each of our states and why for sure they should come to our country. We have to understand that while we're all competing for this, we're competing in a global marketplace. We can't continue the process that President Obama has taken us down of higher taxes, more regulation, anti-business attitude. We've got to say we like businesses and we want them to succeed in our country. We clearly do in our states.
Yeah. And Governor Perry, I heard that you said, hey, you don't have to see the rest of the country. You're in Texas now. Just stay here. Bring all the business. Because you've had an unbelievable success ratio of attracting business. Governor Walker, Governor Perry, Governor Scott, I think if Governor Romney wants to win, he'll utilize you guys throughout the next 45 days. Thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
See y'all.